back to Girl Talk. This is our final segment we've been filming today with our guests at the Vinery. And we finally have the head glass gurus of the Vinery with us right now. With me,
put.
Yeah, I have Denny Berkery, he's the owner and the head honcho, and head instructor and glass guru, Josh Krogman.
Krogman, yeah.
All righty. What are we talking about today, guys?
Well, we're going to start out, we're going to explain a little bit about making a basic stained glass window. And so we're going to kind of cover a glass cutting segment and then also a soldering segment.
Cool. I guess I had never thought about starting with something tiny. I like this. Okay. Yeah. So what's the first step?
Janet's like, go big or go home.
So the first step is we already got a pre-cut circle here, but I'm going to pre-number my pieces so I know exactly where they go back together. And you can see I have a nice little pattern on there. And I'm going to line up my ruler, and I already made some pre-cuts beforehand. I'm just going to go right down the line.
Is that scoring it?
That is scoring my glass. Okay. And then I can break that right down the middle. And like I said, I have some pre-cut pieces already.
Oh, you make that look
I
so
make
easy.
it look
I was just
so
going to say,
easy.
Josh makes it look really easy, but they are such good instructors here that when you come in, it's just as easy to do by yourself.
We want to make you feel comfortable.
At least you've done some of this before.
I
haven't
have,
you? Have you actually
yeah.
done this part?
Yes. Not quite as quickly, but I have.
She says that hesitantly.
So voila, we have our pre-cut pieces, and then we have some bevels that go in the center of these pieces. So let's fit right in the center. And my last bevel I have here, after we have everything cut out, we wrap everything in foil. So we have to carefully individually wrap foil around each piece, and then assemble it all together, and then you're at the next phase.
Exactly.
Next phase.
So just to back up a little bit, the foil comes off the roll, it's a tape, and has an adhesive on the back side. So we wrap each piece of glass with the copper foil. And the reason for that is that the next step is we're going to solder this piece together. Your solder does not readily stick to the glass, but it will readily stick to the copper. So the copper provides a base for the solder to stick to.
It's all coming together now.
Yes, all right, so there's the details.
The copper is the secret sauce.
It is.
All right.
So, but in order to get the solder to stick to the copper, we take a liquid flux and we brush it on top of the copper. That removes any oxidation from the copper and readily allows the solder to stick. That make sense so far?
Yes.
I think
Okay, well, let's see.
so. Are we going to get quizzed on this later?
Yes, yes, yeah, there will be a quiz.
So, when you're talking about soldering, can anyone solder?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
You know, we kind of have, with the stained glass, we sort of have an age restriction. We like to see people of 14 years or older.
Okay.
Due to the fact that
Which
we're working
makes
with,
sense.
yeah,
Cutting glass
hot
and
soldering
hot-
iron and all that. So I have my soldering iron here, and I'm going to take it. I'm just going to melt it right on top of the copper like that.
Boy, at least how many times have you seen a stained glass window with that soldering seal, but never...
Yeah.
It's really neat to see how it's done.
Yeah. So what we strive for is a nice, smooth, even soldering bead, okay? And as a beginner, that's the challenge, and it takes a little practice, but...
What, this steady hand or making a straight line or what?
Constant flow, steady hand, nice bead all the way across.
Okay.
feeding just the right amount of solder
Okay, I'm going to go the other
into
route.
the iron.
What happens if it gets on the glass?
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, you just kind of scooch it back over.
Really?
And
Oh,
it comes right back
wow.
over. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that does happen. So, yeah, that's the technique to take care of it.
Okay. So as we keep going here, these are pieces specifically for the garden, or?
Well, this particular piece here would be hanging. Okay,
Right.
so it
Like
gets
in
some
a
light
window.
passing through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then moving on to what we have laid out here, I'd have
Yeah,
Josh
I'm
explain.
seeing a few garden items here, which is
These
probably like the
are
perfect time of the
A few
season.
things some customers have made. There's some little chickadees. And yeah, the fusing center we have open. But we have these, the feathers, and we have a garden weekend coming up.
We do. It's June 17th, and it's called All Day Fusing Garden Art. And it'll be about 7 hours worth of people coming in and making different projects. So they're going to be making the garden leaf. Will they also be making the flower that you have in your hand
Absolutely
there?
gorgeous.
A larger version of them,
We've
And-
seen that a few times.
a few
yeah.
times.
Right,
And
and
the
then-
garden stake there.
And the garden stake. Okay, that particular piece would fit onto a copper framework and go right out into the garden.
So the soldering is for this indoor piece, and then
Right.
this is a different method called fusing.
Correct.
Okay, how does that work?
Fusing, basically you have glass that is all compatible with itself, and we put it in the kiln and it melts down together. So when the glass heats up and cools down, all the atoms in the glass are tested to cool off at the same rates, and they're all compatible, so they don't break or anything. If I put this glass in the kiln, it would probably stress and break. We wouldn't get a nice finished piece like that.
And that's what makes the glass stick together, like these white pieces stick onto the green
So
leaf.
putting them in the kiln is actually what makes them stick together when they melt down and into each other, essentially fusing together.
Yeah, this particular piece here, these leaves are probably fired up to about 1380 degrees.
Wow.
Okay, and then you take a piece like this one over here, and it goes even higher because when we fuse it higher, it all goes smooth. So, but the basic process is that the glass is melted into the kiln, it forms a bond to each other, and that's what creates our pieces and makes beautiful garden art.
Okay.
So this is fused. Why can't you fuse this? Is it more delicate or?
Well, Josh is explaining there's a different compatibility of glass.
Okay.
And when all our fusing projects, it all has the same compatibility. So when it melts together, there's no stress in the glass.
Gotcha.
Alrighty.
Well, you
So-
hear it from the expert.
So there's items that you can make for your garden or for your home, or maybe a gift for someone else.
Oh, good idea.
And just before we leave, Josh, when was the event?
June 17th.
Okay, is that a Sunday?
Saturday.
A Saturday. Okay, and
Plenty
that's
of
for
time.
any of these projects?
Any of the
The
fused
fusible
The
glass.
project.
fusion, the glass,
Yep.
and the garden items. Alrighty. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Always
Thank you.
interesting.
It's always fun.
Well, thanks to all of our guests today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Girl Talk.